if I could only have 5 baits in the boat with me to go fishing around here, and I'm going to say around here is Central Florida. Close enough? Strike King, Red Eye Shad. Rattle Trap, Chrome Blue, same thing. Lipless Crankbait, Chrome Blue, 1/2 ounce. Number 1, probably the all-time money winningest bait in the state of Florida. Second choice, you can never go wrong with a watermelon or watermelon red Zoom Super Fluke. Just fish weightless on a big hook, like a 4/0 hook. 4/0 extra wide gap hook is all the weight you need. You guys know what a Super Fluke is? I'll fish that real slow. And what you're going to do is you're going to Texas rig it on that hook, and you're going to throw it out in the water. You're going to watch it, and as it sinks, you're going to see it kind of does this, and then you're going to twitch it, and it's going to shoot up, and then it's going to do this again. And that's a bait. And you can fish it fast, you can fish it slow. It's a real versatile bait. I mainly use it when I'm fishing slow, because if I can fish fast, I'm probably going to get my red eye shad out and cover more water. Something I can just cast and reel. What is slow and fast?
20 words less.
For me, slow or fast, the difference between slow and fast is it a bait I work with the reel, or is it a bait I work with the rod? All right. Things I work with the reel, a spinner bait, a crankbait, or a rattle trap type bait, a red eye shad, a buzz bait, a topwater bait, anything that I'm just sort of constantly moving. To me, that's fishing fast. Fishing slow is anything that I'm working with the rod. Soft plastic worm, Texas rig worm, Cincos, Super Flukes, or my flipping stick. So what am I on? I've got 2. Number 3 would be my flipping stick. I never leave home without my flipping stick. Actually, if you saw my boat parked out there right now, there's 5 flipping sticks in there with 65-pound braid, and it's ounce, 1.25 ounces, 1.5 ounces, 1.75 ounces, 2 ounces. So I keep all 5, depending on how thick the vegetation is going to be. But if I had to narrow it down to just one flipping stick, it'd be 1.5 ounces weight. With a Strike King, I like the smaller, what Strike King calls it a rodent. Some companies call it a beaver. Just a small, compact flipping bait. Black and blue is the only color I ever flip. That's the honest to God truth. Nobody ever believes me. I have one color of flipping bait in my boat, and it's black and blue.
When you flip it into the brush, whatever, do you work it in there? Do you lift it up and shake it, or when's the bite?
Yes and no. If you're not getting bit, you got to change something.
Are you getting bit right away? Is what you're, when you pitch it in there, is the
Yes.
bite going to be instant?
I've caught hundreds of fish that literally bit that bait as it broke through the mat.
Okay.
And I've had days where I had to shake it 20 times. I always peg my weight. I don't know if Sean talked to you about flipping. He never pegs his weight. To me, it's a matter of preference. If you guys have ever done any big game fishing, offshore fishing, or maybe you guys from up north maybe caught pike, and you got, teeth, they're musky, and teeth going everywhere, and you probably know the trick. You lay a towel over their eyes, and they won't move. They literally go to sleep if you cover their eyes. So if you can pull an 8-pounder up against the bottom of the mat, and it covers his eyes, he stops fighting. He just stays right there. You just keep the line tight, keep them pinned up, and drive to them. Tell your partner, get down there and dig them out. So we got our Super Fluke, we got our red eye shad, we got our flipping stick. Carolina rig with a straight tail worm, 6.5-inch straight tail worm. Zoom trick worm, or a Strike King KVD finesse worm. JuneBug. That one's Redbug. But Redbug works, JuneBug works. Generally a darker color with a little bit of green flake. I learned to fish with a black worm, just solid black Begley's hardhead worms. Fished that on the Carolina rig. And the reason I say that is where I'm going to fish that, and you got to remember I'm a St. Johns River rat. That's my home fishery. And I fish Toho a lot, Harris Chain a little bit. But I'm going to fish that offshore. I'm looking for hydrilla that nobody else can see, underwater hydrilla. Right, everybody sees it when it's on top of the water, but you follow it out, follow it out, follow it out, and it kind of trickles down into the water and it stops growing. I'm usually fishing that on the outside edge of that hydrilla. The other thing I'm looking for is hard bottom. Number 5 is really not probably the 5th best bait, but it's probably the funnest bait. So I'm going to say a topwater plug with a prop on each end like a devil's horse. We actually make our own up at home for fishing on Lake George and Crescent Lake. I really love it. This time of year, it's right now that this bite is starting to happen. When that water starts warming up, and I get those 2 or 3 degrees over a couple hours, and I've had that happen for a day or two, and those big females are going to move up, and they're just thinking about spawning, but they're not really bedding yet, but they're getting up there. Maybe the bucks are fanning beds, and they hate that topwater plug, because painting orange, I take a orange spray paint, I paint the belly orange. Looks like the big red breast sunfish we have in the river, and we got them in the lakes here too. And they hate those things. They will try to just, they don't want to eat. Once you've had that bite, once you've had a 6, 7, 8 pound female come out of the water in 2 feet of water and pin your topwater to the bottom to her tail sticking up in the mud, she wants it so bad. Once you have that bite, you don't care about it. You don't care about the check at the end of the day. You just want that to happen again. It's really, and that's just that's one of the. That's my 5. Okay. All right. One more.